My name is Tim.
I'm Wyatt.
I'm Ken.
And I'm Tony. And this is Monkey Land! Today we're going to be talking about standard recuperation procedures.
Standard recovery machine procedures. Yes, here we go. So, we're going to make a couple of assumptions. One, that our recovery tank has been evacuated so that it doesn't have any contaminants in it. And we want to also make sure that all our lines are evacuated so they're not contaminants. But so we've got our gauge manifold up there. We're going to hook our low side or the blue side of the manifold up to the vapor line or our suction line of our system. We're going to take the high side line, hook it up to the liquid or the high side, depending on which one I have access. You may not always have access to the liquid line. If you do have access to the liquid line, you want to pull the liquid first because your whole process is going to go much faster. Then we're going to have the center port in this case, or the refrigerant port, is going to go straight from the manifold to a sight glass. That sight glass is there so that when we are done pulling liquid refrigerant, we'll know when we're now going into the vapor recovery stage. So it's going to go through that sight glass into the inlet of the recovery machine. We're going to go to the outlet of the recovery machine into the tank itself. When we have all of this purged out, or we've removed all the non-condensables and things from those line sets, we're going to go open up our valves, turn on our recovery machine, and then we'll be ready to go. So, we're ready to see it in real life?
Let's do it.
Okay, so before we get there though, we have one thing to talk about. The recovery tanks themselves. The recovery tanks have specific colors, as you can see, gray and yellow, indicating that it is a recovery tank. It comes in various shapes and sizes. There's three things we want to look at. Number one, the tare weight, or what is the tank weigh empty. That way we know if it's full of materials or not. Then we want to look at the water column, or the gross weight. That tells you how much this would weigh if it was completely full of water. We never want to fill a recovery tank more than 80% full. That's why we always use our scales to measure the tank as we're recovering refrigerant. Now, this third thing we want to look at is we want to look at the date on it. Now, this is a DOT date, and it says that on these tanks they must be retested every 5 years. Now, you cannot transport these tanks unless the state that you have on there is within that 5-year limit of today's date. Now, we're going to get ahead ready to go and go ahead and start our recovery process. So, we take the low side service port line and put it on the low side of our system. We take our high side line and put it from our manifold and put it on the high side. We take our refrigerant side, hook it up to the inlet of the recovery machine. We take the outlet of the recovery machine and we go to our red knob, in this case, red knob, red one, on our recovery machine, which represent, in this case, liquid. Now we're all set. Now, if I've previously evacuated my tank, I don't need to open the valve on the tank itself, but at this point, I would actually come over, open the valves on the recovery machine, open the valves on the manifold. And we're going to show you that right now. We'll start the manifold. We're going to open all these valves, including the evacuation or the vacuum one. We're going to go ahead and open up the valves on our recovery machine. Okay? Make sure that those are wide open. We'll keep the tank closed if we've already evacuated it, or we'll open it if we haven't previously evacuated. Now that they're all open, we're going to go ahead and start our vacuum pump. Hook up our vacuum line. Then we're going to turn our vacuum pump on. Once the vacuum pump is on, we're going to evacuate the line sets to make sure we've gotten rid of all the non-condensables within the system or contaminants. Once that evacuation is done, we're going to go ahead and close the vacuum port. And then we come over and we go ahead and turn on our recovery machine. Now, once the recovery machine is started, we're going to monitor the weight of our tank. We're also going to monitor the liquid line, site class, to see when we've stopped liquid recovery. When we're done with recovery, we're going to go ahead and close our tank, shut off our machine, close our manifolds, all the lines on our manifold, and then we're ready to do whatever kind of work we need to do on this machine. So, that is standard recovery. Standard recovery can take quite some time, take several minutes or hours, depending on the size of the machine you have. Number one rule is you want to make sure that your line sets are evacuated so you don't contaminate that refrigerant. Make sure that all your line sets are hooked up properly. Make sure you recover all the refrigerant you need to EPA requirements or your local requirements. That will vary based on the refrigerants and the amount of refrigerant. So please look at your EPA or your state, local requirements for recovery. My name is Tim.
I'm Wyatt.
And I'm Ken.
And I'm Tony, your camera guy.
And we're saying, be safe, be cool, and we'll see you next time around.
What's up, dude?